took a drink of water there for a second. Hi, everyone. Welcome to A Moment in Time with Taylor. Thank you for tuning in on YouTube. Thank you for tuning in on Periscope. I am live on Periscope every single day, 7 days a week for 3 hours a day with positive content to help you to reach your health, wealth, and relationship goals. Hey there, products. First comment to the broadcast. Boom! Thank you so much. Oh my gosh, our club! Thank you. Wait, I should probably read it first. I always get really excited. I say thank you before I know, like, if I'm supposed to say thank you publicly or if it's okay. I think it's okay. I'm clicking it. I think this topic is going to be really, really interesting tonight. I'm really interested in it. So, okay. I probably should have read it first. Anyway, thank you everyone who makes this channel possible. These are the people who have contributed over the last 30 days. Huge thank you, because up until very recently, we had not gotten any sponsorships in the last 5 days, and I was beginning to question if I was doing good work here. So thank you to everyone who reminds me that they like what I do. Tiki, I'm glad to see our club and Tiki back. They both came into my ASMR broadcast before this, and they're like, I'll be back for when you're talking normally again, because this is kind of weird. Hey, Nicholas. So let's talk about this. I'm really excited. I finally got the opportunity. I have a lot to say about this, so I'm going to be talking probably pretty fast. Try to bear with me, and I'm questioning if I should have call-ins on for this. So if once I kind of spit out everything I want to say, if you want to call in and you want to do this call-in style, I'll end this and go live from my phone so we can do call-ins, because I can't do call-ins when I go live from my computer, and I already had this all set up, so I decided to go with it. Thanks for retweeting and inviting your followers. I love you. Thank you, my daughter. All right, so our club's like LOL. All right, so today was a great day because I got to read a book today. Thank you, Rhodey. Thank you. I know. Rhodey's reminding me I only have an hour and 7 minutes left of content today, and it's going to easily take that much time to talk about this. But I think that you guys will enjoy it, and you'll have a lot to say about it, too. I'm going to be asking you what your opinions are on different topics, and I really hope that you guys will tell me what your opinions are. If you have them, you might say, I don't really care, or you might have a pretty strong opinion on something, and I'm going to try not to battle people out, even if my opinion is different than theirs, so we can actually chat about it, a whole book. I didn't read the whole book, no, so I read, I don't know exactly how many pages I read, but I love reading. You can probably tell, my little bookshelf back here. I usually read a new book every single week. I read 52 books a year, but I recently decided to go back to school because I want to get my license as a professional counselor. Hi, Joel. And that requires a master's degree in the state of New Jersey where I live. And that has caused me to I'm still reading a lot, but it's like forced reading, compulsory reading because of the education system. It's not the books necessarily that I would choose to read. I really enjoy everything I study about psychology in school, but then when I'm forced to read many chapters about math, it's a bit different, and I don't get as much time to read my books because I am taking class. Thank you, Tiki, for the first super hearts of the broadcast. I'm taking 18 credits this semester, which means I'm taking 6 classes. It's a lot, and it consumes most of my time. I'm either live streaming or working on schoolwork, and my classes they go from Monday to Sunday. So today, Sunday, I actually got all my schoolwork done for all the classes done at like 7:30 this morning, so I actually had some time this afternoon to sit down and just read a book, which I haven't gotten to do in kind of a while, at least not for a decent amount of time. So yes, okay, Rhodey, I'll talk about that in a second too. So, well, I'll actually just say it now. I took away all my moderators right before this broadcast because I think it's related to auto-muting. I have a theory about auto-muting. I've been asked not to share it with everyone at this point, so I'm not going to say what I think it is, but it is related to moderator behavior, and that's why Casey and Wolf Puppy and Sonam, when they tested this, when they took all their moderators away, auto-muting stopped happening, so I'm testing that as well. The rain tree, right? No break day. Well, reading books to me is something I would like to do. I don't take any days off. So I go live here on Periscope every single day, 7 days a week for 3 hours a day. And I make sure that I get enough rest. Earlier I did a meditation. I was having a lot of thoughts because of what we're about to talk about, and I ended up falling asleep for an hour and a half after that. It's the beauty of having a lot of freedom and control over my life and my environment. Wait, what? You forgot me? I didn't forget you. Wait, what did I just say? What about moderator? I didn't forget you. You're not a moderator. Nobody's a moderator. It's the Wild West in here. It happens again on both of them. Well, they both put their moderators back. Sonam has moderators again. I believe Casey does as well. So we're gonna see if it happens here. And if it doesn't happen, then I might have to go without moderators for a while. Sonam, hello. You have a moderate button still? You do? You shouldn't. That's weird. You have a mute button? Or you have a report button? That's weird. I just took everyone away. Rody just told me he doesn't have it. Sonam, you're not a moderator, right? There shouldn't be anybody moderating. Yeah, you muted one person? What? Oh my god, it says that you were muted. I mean, you muted someone. How do you still have it? Tiki! Wait, you have it too? Okay, maybe it just hasn't taken effect yet. Wait, Rody, do you still have it too? Yeah, I see that. I just blocked them too. Thank you for muting them, but... Rody, do you have mod? Rody said he doesn't have mod. I took every single person off the mod list. Everyone, right before this broadcast. And Rody doesn't have it, but Tiki and Sonam still do? That's so weird. Well, I'm assuming you guys won't have it on the next broadcast. I don't know why that is. Lies? No, they did. Tiki just moderated. I don't know why. I don't know how that's even possible. I took everybody off that list. Very weird. Oh well, I guess we'll just see if... Still a few sheriffs in the West. No, I'm not lying. You like the girl mods? No, I don't, Rody. You're a troll. I swear to God, I took all my moderators away. I swipe. Everybody. All right, well, if you don't believe me, that's your prerogative. I don't have to prove myself to you guys. I took off all the moderators, so I love you. But if you don't want to believe me, then you don't trust me. That's all I can say. That is very, very weird that they have moderation, though. I don't understand how that's possible. Because I'm official Periscope Hearts chick. I didn't skip them. Rody, don't tell me what I did. I'm telling you what I did. I did not skip them. I took away all the moderators. So now I'm going to get back to the content of this broadcast. If you're really upset, I'm sorry. I don't know what to say. So I explained it the best that I could. So I did take away all moderators. None of you should have moderation privileges. If that continues, I'll have to actually report that to Periscope and ask them why it is that people aren't on my moderator list but still have moderator powers. I assume it's just because I did it right before this broadcast, but I would think it would be everyone, not just Sonam and Tiki. Is there anyone else? Our club, do you still have it? I don't know if you were ever a moderator, actually. Or Danny. No, I don't think Danny was. I don't see anybody else in here that was one. Okay. Well, I hope we're over it. I'm over it. Let's move forward. So, I was really excited that I got to read this book today. And it was a bittersweet kind of feeling because I got to read my book again, which I haven't been able to do in a while. And I got to read a lot of it. I was reading for a few hours. But I don't really like this book that much. I haven't been a big fan of it so far, and if you don't know, I do book reviews on here every time I finish a book, so you'll see what I think about the book. I'll do a live review here on Periscope and on YouTube, and we'll see. I did not read the whole book. No, I read a lot of it, though. So, Tiki, you're a troll. How are you still a moderator? I don't understand this. All right, I'm going to try not to get fixated on it, though. I assume it'll be gone next broadcast. We'll just have to see. Or if you like leave and come back. I don't know. But focus. So I didn't like this book very much. Then I got to a chapter. I'm going to ignore comments for a minute so I can spit this out. I got to a chapter that I really, 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 really enjoyed. It actually got me really inspired, really excited. And I've been wanting to do this broadcast pretty much all night. But it got me thinking about so much stuff. It got me thinking about myself, my own motives, why I do and say the things that I do, why I'm afraid to do things that I want to do and things that I want to say. This is a microphone, yeah, hello. And I want to talk to you guys about this too and see what you think about it. So, hi Eunice. I know I'm not very good at ignoring the comments, am I? Nicholas says he's still a moderator. Well, at least that proves that I didn't just leave the girls. But now Rody's going to think I just took him off, but I didn't. I swear to God, I took everybody off. All right, GH, so as you see in the title, it says, why are we not always honest? So Kyle says we are honest. Maybe, definitely some people more than others. Hi, Brittany. Hi. Nicholas says he's not a moderator. Okay. So let's stop talking about moderator because I'm going to start get annoyed with that. That's me being honest. Chapter and book. I'm just reading this one chapter. So the book is called 12 Rules for Life by Jordan Peterson. I think it's rule number 8. or 9, which is called Be Honest, or at least Don't Lie. Something like that. So, hi, Charlene. Okay, well, we can talk about religion. Mr. Cool Breeze, he actually talks in this book a lot about religion, which is probably part of the reason I'm not a big fan of it. So, yeah, my hair's actually bugging me, Eunice. What he's talking about is someone. So his example was he's a trained clinical psychologist. So he was in a mental institution, and a patient came up to him with schizophrenia, I believe, and said, "Hey, where are you guys going? Can I walk with you?" It was a group of students who were taking a tour of this mental institution and learning about what goes on there. I don't know if they were interning. I think they were interning. They were being trained, or they were on some kind of rounds. They were learning something. And she came up to them very politely, very pleasantly, and said, "Oh, hey, what are you guys up to? Can I go with you?" And they didn't really know what to say or what to do, because there's a few options. When someone comes up to you and asks you a question like that, and the answer is basically no, you can sugarcoat it, you can tell them the truth, you can make something up. So you could say something like, "Oh, well, we can only have 8 in our group. There can only be 8 of us," which is a lie, but it wouldn't necessarily hurt anyone's feelings. You could say something like, "Oh, well, we're actually just about to leave. We're leaving right after this." Which would also be a lie, but not necessarily hurt anyone's feelings. You could tell them, "Well, actually, this is only for students, like students who are becoming psychologists, and you're not one of those, so you can't come with us because you're not part of this group," which is true, but is very hard to say, because you're making the divide, the other feeling that I'm separate from you, we are different from each other, you're not part of our group. It's really hard to just bluntly say that. And not necessarily blunt, you don't have to say no, you're not invited, rudely, but saying something that's true and just kind of, but is also very honest. Brittany, thank you for the super hearts. And I was thinking about myself and the way that I behave, the things that I do, the things that I say, and why do I say and do these things. David Dunn, thank you so much for the sponsorship. I really appreciate that so much. David just went to nextjuice.com/support. The link is in the description, and sent sponsorship. So thank you. Thank you. I have no idea, GH3. Or just say no. You could. I've been honest most of my life, and it's left me very alone. Oh well. I feel similarly to that I try to be very honest, and sometimes I feel like I would have more friends if I didn't do that, and sometimes I feel like this is a real feeling, a real thought that I have, like I'm more honest than necessary. But also there's times where I know that I'm definitely not necessarily that I'm not honest, right? Not that I lie, but that I don't say what I want to say because I'm worried about how it's going to make someone else feel, which is pretty much the definition of emotional intelligence, right? EQ, being sensitive, putting yourself in the other person's shoes, trying not to upset them. But what are our motives for that? Is it because we actually want what's best for that person? Or is it because we want what will benefit us from that relationship and from that person? Is it somebody sponsors me, so I'm much nicer to them than I would be if they didn't sponsor me? Because I want to make sure that they continue to support this channel so that I can continue doing what I love. If someone's rude to me and I know that they are depressed, do I bite my tongue and not say, "That hurt my feelings"? I feel kind of insulted by what you just said. I know you probably didn't mean to insult me, but that was kind of rude, what you just said, because I'm worried that it's going to push them over the brink and they might kill themselves over it. I mean, that is the reality. I definitely have experiences like this where I think, I don't think I treat everyone the way that I necessarily really feel about them, and I don't say everything that I really want to say to them because I'm afraid of the negative impact it's going to have on me. Not even, obviously if someone kills themselves, I don't want that to happen to them. At the same time, I don't think I could handle that guilt. I don't think I could live with myself knowing that something I said pushed someone to that point. So it's not completely other motivated, right? So we can say, oh, well, I don't want to hurt people's feelings, which we don't, right? We're human, unless you're like a sociopath or a psychopath and you have no ability to feel empathy for other people. The whole golden rule, like, we want to treat other people the way we want to be treated. So, you know, that goes, I feel like it goes without saying, but I guess I said it anyway, just to be clear. It's not completely selfishly motivated, but there is that element, and to be aware of that in ourselves, and to be aware of the things about ourselves that we're not so proud of, the things that we do that we didn't expect to do. I've been pretty vulnerable about sharing with you guys, and even me saying I've been vulnerable is like me trying to make it seem like I'm like so good when I'm saying what I'm about to say, which is that I cheated on my ex. And I never thought I would do that. Up until the moment that I did that, I never thought that I would. I thought that was for bad people out there, you know, the people that don't care about the person that they're with, people who can't be faithful, people who, you know, they just want to have sex, that's all that's important to them or whatever. I didn't realize like I was even capable of that. And when you're faced with your own darkest side and your own ability to be deceptive and to do things that don't consider someone else's feelings completely, it's very humbling, and it's this like moment of realization, like, I don't know myself as well as I thought I did. And that is something that we all can, I think, relate to, whether you've cheated or not, but something that you've done or said or thought, even that kind of, you're like, wow, I didn't even know I was capable of even having, maybe like a violent compulsion. Maybe you didn't act on it. That's what the author talks about. He felt like these violent urges, like he wanted to be violent a few times. He never did, but just realizing that he even had that within him was kind of like this wake-up call, like, okay, that's interesting. Like, I never thought I would be able to be capable of being a violent person, but it's in there somewhere, you know? I'm missing so many comments. I'm sorry. So that's why you're so nice to me. David, I'm nice to you because I like you, and I like your sense of humor, your intellect. That is true. I also like that you support my channel, but I don't feel like I'm that nice to you. I just messaged you a few minutes ago and asked you if I was like your period. Is that nice, or is that really weird and uncomfortable? I message him every month, and I'm like, is it just me, or am I like your period? I wish you had Collins on for this. Okay, so I said that. Okay, so thank you for saying that. So I actually said at the beginning of this broadcast, like, I was tempted to just go live from my phone, so like we could do Collins on this, but then I'm also like, I had this set up already from ASMR before this, and I wasn't sure if people were going to want to call in, so I was like, well, let's just try it from the computer, kind of spit it out, and then if we want, I'll shut this down and go live from my phone. We'll do Collins. Ego, narcissism, empathy, balance that defines personality. So a balance between ego, narcissism, empathy. I'm so glad you're here, Art Club. Art Club always has, like, the wisdom. He always drops so much wisdom in here. Thank you, product. I can tell you've been chewing on this, and not very long, only for a few hours, so my thoughts are still very kind of all over the place with this, but also, so he also talks, there's a lot, but he also talks about like our inner judge, right? There's two parts of us. There's the part of us that does things, that takes action. It does things, it says things. It's like what other people experience as us. But there's the part of us inside of us that only we experience, which is our judge, right? It's what judges other people potentially, but it also judges our own actions and behaviors and the words that we say and what we do. And it feels either proud of something that we've done or ashamed or guilty of something that we've done. And trying to live a life that we can stand by, saying and doing things that that part of ourself is going to say, good work, and feel comfortable with, and try to live the best life that we can in terms of our own moral compass, you know? Hey, JJ, I acknowledge that my opinion is not always correct, so my truth may be different than yours. Yes, being really attached to our own ideas. So that's the other concept of this. So I put one, why aren't we always honest? Is it because we don't want to hurt other people's feelings? Is it because we're worried about how that might hurt us with our relationship with them and maybe what we get from them and knowing them and having their affection for us? Is it because we're worried that we're going to have some irreparable damage? Are we going to traumatize our children? Are we going to say the wrong thing to a client as a therapist, as a counselor? I mean, these are real fears, and they're good to have and think about, and it's kind of like trying to figure out where is this balance between being honest and being sensitive, you know, like so that we're not just being reactive and saying every single thing that pops into our head, but being careful about the things that we say, but also making sure that they kind of pass through that filter of that inner judge that we have. Weird when things like that come full circle. It was the moment. You're right. I should have been honest and never married my fifth wife. Wanted different things and I couldn't change her. There we go. Yeah, being honest with ourselves. If we can't be honest with ourselves, we can't be honest with other people. We talked a lot about being honest with ourselves when we were talking about finances in the last book that I read about financial freedom, which is being honest with ourselves about our financial situation. If you have a lot of debt, look at it. Be honest with yourself. You don't have to tell the whole world about it, but you have to be honest with yourself first. You have to, get to a certain point. You don't have to, right? But you have a choice to it. I think it's beneficial for us to be honest with ourselves, and it's going to help us to be honest with the people around us when we know what the truth really is, or as close as we can get to it, because it changes, right? Up until the moment I cheated on my ex, I wasn't the person who cheated, right? I never had, so therefore I wasn't. I wasn't defined that way. As soon as I cheated, then the truth about me and what I was capable of and what I have done changed pretty dramatically, in my opinion, in terms of relationships, and in terms of my own view of myself. It was very, very, very humbling, stressful, probably the most stressful experience of my life, and one of the darkest periods of my life. Looking at ourselves can be scary. Exactly, Charlene. What author? Jordan Peterson. Only Human. Yes, we're not going to be oh my God, it's Top Shelf Pickle. Oh my God, is that Nick? They have one follower and it's Wolf Puppy. It's Wolf Puppy, isn't it? Wolf Puppy, is that you? A cheater will always be a cheater. Well, I mean, it doesn't mean that I'm going to cheat again, but I am now defined as someone who has cheated, so I guess you could say that I am a cheater because I cheated, but that doesn't mean that I'm cheating on Ed now, right? I cheated with my ex, with the guy that I'm with now. Again, I'm kind of justifying it, but at the same time, there are different ways, there are different levels, I believe, in the things that we do, right? And it wasn't like I just got drunk and had sex with a stranger and, made a mistake. Like, it was, I fell in love with someone else and failed to end my existing relationship before starting the new relationship, in my opinion, which is cheating, right? And I wasn't honest about it. I didn't immediately go and tell my husband about it. If I had, I wouldn't even view that as cheating. But I didn't, a month later I left him, but throughout that month I never came clean about it. I have since come clean so that he doesn't find out about it by me talking about it on the internet, but lying by omission is the way we lie by withholding what should be said. Well, how do you decide? So J. Vic, because I appreciate that comment, right? There are sins of omission where we fail to do something, and sins of commission where we do something that is considered bad. But what should be said, right? So if, like, say you're with a friend and she's about to go on a date and she puts on a really unflattering outfit, should you tell her that doesn't really look good on you? I mean, is there a benefit in that? And I mean a benefit to her. Like, I would think that, yeah, there is. There is potentially, like, she could put something more flattering and feel more confident and look more physically attractive, which is likely to result in what she's trying to result in, just in a hypothetical situation, which is a relationship with this person she's going on a date with, and impressing them and feeling good and attractive. But it's going to hurt her feelings to say that doesn't really look good on you. And maybe she likes it. Maybe she feels good in it. So it's like, I feel like there's just so many gray areas with this, and I'm like tortured by these things because I'm like, and I think we all are. It's like we want to be honest, but we don't always want to be completely honest. We don't always want to say everything that we think, because really, what does that, not only ourselves stand to gain from that, but what does that person stand to gain from that? If I just say to someone, I don't really like you, do I need to say that? Should it be said? We withhold what should be said, is what Jay said. Well, should it be said? Does it? I mean, it certainly doesn't need to be said, but what makes something should be said and what shouldn't be said? Are there things that shouldn't be said even if they're true? I mean, should everything true be said? Probably not. I don't like Republicans because they don't value other people's perspective. That's an interesting, are you attached to that idea of Republicans? So all Republicans to you are people who lack empathy, basically? Yeah, product. I know, I've been excited about this conversation all night, yeah. I appreciate content with content. Yeah, me too. Hi, Dave. But you and we shouldn't feel accountable or responsible for others' actions over your own opinion and action. You and me shouldn't feel accountable or responsible for others' actions. Well, we're definitely not responsible for other people's actions over our own opinion and action. So I guess in so much as it affects me, I have the right socially to express something. Like, for example, if I have a friend who's very depressed and they say something to me that I find rude and it insults me and it hurts my feelings, I therefore, and let me know if you guys agree with this, I have the right to say, you know, I don't think you meant to hurt me, but that hurt me, what you said. That kind of, I felt a little bit insulted, a little bit off-put by that. Even though it might cause them to feel worse about themselves, it's how you feel, right? So you have the right to express how you feel about something. Because here's the thing, people do this way too much. We think people should be able to read our minds. We think that people should just know that what they said insulted us or bothered us, something they did bothered us. We are so self-consumed. We have this very narrow perspective of the world. There's no way I'm going to know that something I did or said bothered you unless you tell me that it bothered you. And I might not want to hear it, and I might not want to change my behavior, but you have the right to tell me it bothered you. And it might help me, because if it bothered you and it affected anyone else, it may have bothered other people too who didn't have the balls to tell me. And how the hell am I supposed to know what I'm doing or saying is bothering someone unless somebody has the courage to tell me? I personally feel like I would rather know. Sometimes it kind of sucks, and I'm like, sometimes I do feel like, oh, maybe I'd rather not know because now I'm self-conscious about this thing that I want to do. But is being self-conscious bad? I don't know. You know, self-conscious really kind of means like self-aware. I know I've kept quiet about certain things because I don't like conflict. Right, and you know, hopefully I can talk about this because you did talk about it. Oh, sorry. You did talk about it in our broadcast before, but Sonam had a pretty relatively traumatic childhood, I would say. I don't want to like put words in your mouth, so tell me if you agree or disagree with that. But that could very well lead someone to not want conflict, right? So if conflict resulted in violence in your past or in neglect in your past and caused you to be hurt either physically or even psychologically, you're going to shy away from those behaviors in the future, of course, you know? And I feel pretty comfortable with conflict, but I know other people are uncomfortable with it. So then sometimes I feel like, okay, well, I know they're not going to want to have this conversation. I want to have the conversation. What's more important, what they want or what I want? Is there really one that's more important than the other? You know, how can we find like this happy medium? You know, either we have the conversation or we don't have it. So one of us is getting what we want, you know? And what do? Always prioritize what we want over what someone else wants? Is that really a good way to have healthy relationships, mutually beneficial relationships with people? Do relationships need to be mutually beneficial? I'm asking a whole lot of questions and I'm not offering up a whole lot of answers. I realize that. I have such fun with my rent. Thank you. I'm sure I spent $5 last week on a calculator, so half of it went to that. There is no such thing as a good lie. There is no such thing as a good lie. That is very deep, what you just said. There is no such thing as a good lie. Right, like define good. Some people may say, well, if it gets me what I want, then it's a good lie. It's good for me. You know, but I tend to agree with that. There really is nothing good that comes from lying. It's interesting, my stepsons, I have 2 stepsons and they're twins, and one of them is pretty honest. He lies still. But the other one tends to lie almost always, like definitely a lot more often, and about things that are very obviously untrue. Like, for example, we'll be playing a video game all together, and like everyone can see the results of the video game, right? We all see like who won. Say we're doing Mario Kart, and whoever wins the race, well, he'll just say like, I won, you know? We all know that he didn't, and it's like this awkward, like, what, you know, is it just that he feels like he wishes that he won, like he lives in this like alternative reality of things? And I try to tell him like, so I actually, part of this book that I'm reading as well, I'm going to get so far behind on comments, I'll probably just scroll through a bunch of them, but The 12 Rules for Life by Jordan Peterson, which has caused me to bring up this topic about being honest. And then there's also a chapter in this book, one of the rules, the 12 rules, is don't allow your children to do things that make you not like them. And I did not like that at first. I did not like the thought of that and the wording of that. But as I read the chapter, I thought, that's pretty freaking solid advice. And I didn't think I was going to like it, but I actually quite like it. And I've thought about that several times since then. If your child is doing something that's socially unlikable, right? Like lying or cheating or stealing or hitting, they're not going to be liked, not just by potentially you and the other people in your household. Hi, Lou and Kyle over on YouTube. but they're not going to be liked by other people out there, and they're going to be at a social disadvantage. And social advantages are very important in a social society, a social society, like a social species, like humans. We rely on each other to have the things that we want in the world, and if no one likes us, it's going to be really hard. We're going to be more likely to have anxiety, depression, that could even be traumatizing. We're going to be isolated. We certainly don't want that for our children, and it can be hard. Like, are we supposed to, this is something I'm kind of struggling, it's like these two thoughts in the book of like, am I supposed to tell the children, like, when you do that, people aren't going to like, it's not necessarily, like, I don't really necessarily want to say, like, they're not going to like you, but people don't like when people do that, and try to teach them empathy. Do you like when people lie to you? And he lies so much that he'll say, yeah, I do. But the reality is, I would like to think that somewhere in him, in his brain, which I believe is pretty healthy, he can realize that he doesn't like that, right? He doesn't like when people cheat or hit him or steal from him. So even if he's saying to me that he likes that, the reality is that nobody likes those things being done to them. So put yourself in someone else's shoes. If you do that, people, they play, do you guys know the game Heads Up, 7 Up? Where you put everyone in the classroom, puts their head down, they put their thumb up, and the kids come around the class and they put your thumb down. And then you have to guess who put your thumb down. If you guess correctly, then you get to switch spots and you get to go around and put the thumbs down. Well, they played this in their class last week, and he only got chosen throughout the whole game. He only got chosen one time. And that could be kind of a sign that, like, he's not popular. People aren't really, and he's very, very cute. He's very adorable. Like, he's got like what he needs to be socially successful. He's smart, but he's not, like, necessarily super nice or well behaved. He doesn't necessarily listen. He likes to lie. He likes to cheat, and sometimes he gets a little aggressive, and that's not going to be good for him. So how do you tell your kid that? Like, people aren't going to like you, and it's going to make your life harder. Do you just say it? You just say that? Like, it feels like you don't never want to say that to your children, but would it benefit them to say that, something like that? What's cheating to you? I slept with someone else while I was married a couple times before leaving my husband. My name got to be famous. A top shelf pickle is such, I was waiting for that. I almost made it myself, but I got enough stuff to worry about right now. I couldn't make a troll account. I'm finding it hard to troll you now. I'm sorry, TK. I know it's a very serious topic, isn't it? There's a top shelf pickle? Yes, it is. Are you still friends or friendly with X? Actually, we were, until he found out about Ed, which I told him myself. He asked me, though, and I didn't have the courage. I was too afraid to tell him. I didn't know how to tell him, and some of you guys got to see my ex, right? And I think he's a great guy. Like, I have no problems with him at all whatsoever. I have no complaints, right? It was a lack of compatibility. He's gonna be really good for someone else. He wasn't good for me. I like to travel. I like the beach. He doesn't like that kind of stuff at all. Like, would not travel even just a few minutes from the house, really, with me without a struggle, and definitely was never going to go live in Florida with me. So that it was a no bueno, right? We can't have that. But he's a great guy. But some of you guys may have seen, he's very, like, I view him as someone, men are much more likely to commit suicide. And I certainly would hope that he would never do that. And he doesn't, I really believe that he wouldn't, but at the same time, there is a part of me, personally, when I was younger, when I was an adolescent, I thought about killing myself many times. So I think about that a lot. I do think about suicide in a lot throughout my life, like, and I see other people's lives, and I think, oh, I wonder if that person, like, will commit suicide or thinks about committing suicide. Like, and now I'm studying psychology, so it's definitely in the forefront of my brain a lot. And I worried about telling him something that I was worried would break him and potentially cause him to take his own life. He doesn't have children. All of his family, his father died about a year before I left him. All his family, he only had, like, a mom and a sister, and they both moved to Florida away from him, and then I moved to Florida too. And he was alone. He was very alone. Like, he has some friends, but because of the work that he does, a lot of his friends are attached to him because of the work that he does, and I wonder if he changed the work that he did, if those people would remain his friends. So, and he's aware of that as well. We've had a conversation, so this is not a justification. This is not a good reason not to have told him the truth earlier on, but this was the fears in my head, was like, I don't want him to feel completely rejected and dejected and, like, something bad about himself, you know? But at the same time, I was worried that he was going to not like me anymore. Of course, you know? I still wanted to be friends with him. I still really like him. So for a while, for many months after I left him, occasionally, we weren't like friends, but occasionally we would message each other. Thank you, Mark, for the super hearts. We would text here and there, very intermittently, little things like, you know, I'd say, oh, do you have this document or anything? Have you seen this around? I can't find this, you know, whatever. And when I moved, I needed a lot of things, and, you know, we would have little communication. He'd ask me about something, and then one day, several months ago, he asked me, he has a new girlfriend, and she had told him that he was basically delusional to think that I didn't cheat on him. So he wanted to prove her wrong, so he reached out to me and asked me, and I was honest with him. I said, yeah, I did. And he kind of seemed like he wasn't, like, totally, you know, he was talking about how, like, it doesn't seem like humans are meant to be monogamous. It doesn't really, it seems like we, like, fight against our own instincts when we try to remain monogamous forever. It kind of seems like that was bound to happen eventually. It kind of seems like our relationship was, like, good for as long as it could have been good, and then it just kind of ended, and he was, like, okay with it ending the way that it did and everything. But when he found out that I fell in love with Ed, and that he found out that it was Ed, I told him, right, that it was Ed, and that I had fallen in love with him, and that it wasn't just that I had, like, become promiscuous and just wanted to sleep with random people and just was, like, sleeping around or getting drunk and slept with a random person or anything, that it was, like, I had actually had an emotional bond and attachment to somebody so strong that I left him kind of for that person. Ed was married at the same time as well, so, you know, there was a whole, like I said, it was probably the darkest time in my life, with the exception of when I was to the point of wanting to kill myself in my adolescent years. As I get further from that, it's harder to remember that emotion, but regardless, when he found that out, he stopped responding to me. So I didn't try. I didn't push it. I just responded to all of his questions. I told him he could ask whatever he wanted. I answered all of his questions. And when I answered that part about how I'd fallen in love with Ed, I never heard from him again. And that was several months ago. And I don't feel like I have the right to reach out to him because it balls in his court. If he wants to be friends, I'm happy to be friends with him. I even said to Ed if he would be comfortable having him at Christmas, because he doesn't have family, right? So my family in New York, I'm happy to have my ex there. I don't care. Like, I feel like in a way he is part of my family, you know? Like, it's not romantic love anymore, but I still like him. He's still a good guy. But, you know, I feel like he needs time to process that and heal from that, and maybe he can't be in a relationship with me anymore, you know? So it's kind of like a question mark at this point. Look, David can mute people too. Guys, I removed all my moderators before this broadcast, and people are still able to mute. But flattering and physically attractive according to who? I mean, everyone, right? We all have so we might have types, right? Some people might like facial hair, some people might not, some people like tall people, short people, but there are things that are unflattering to our shape. Like, for me, I'm short, right? So if I wear anything that goes between my ankles and my knees, it makes my legs look very short and kind of like stumpy. Not that it's making me look ugly, but it's not flattering on my body. If I wear anything above the knee or to the ankle, it's fine. But cutting off my legs there because they're already short, it looks bad, right? And it would on any short person. So that's what I mean when I say something could be unflattering. You know, not that it makes them look ugly, but that it's not flattering to their body shape. And there's many different things like that. You know, if you're a heavier person and you wear horizontal stripes, it makes you look wider. It makes all of us look wider when we wear horizontal stripes. That's why women with small breasts sometimes want horizontal stripes just on their breasts. You know, there's a lot of things. It's like optical illusions, right? If she gives you two choices, yes, life is weird. Life is weird, yeah. Does this make me look fat? No, your face does. Oh my god, this is a good topic. Thank you, Art Club. I'm so glad. I thought you would enjoy this. I was actually really hoping you would come back for this. Thank you for inviting and retweeting Lou. Amongst friends, opinions and freely speaking is much different than amongst strangers. True. I must hide from the paparazzi. Yep. Hey, kid. Hi, Steve. I'm really blatant. Really? Hola, boobs. That hurt me is way better than returning an insult. Agreed, Joel, agree. I think lying becomes negligible when the outcome is negligible. Tell me my outfit is terrible. I've never told someone that what they were wearing was unflattering. I'm a pretty honest person. I've also never really thought that about someone. I just use that as like an example. Like if somebody puts something on, you're just like, well, like you have like such a nice body and what you're wearing is like not like showing your sexy body. Like, but I really just don't like hang out with friends who are about to go on dates. I don't really have that many friends. On the same note, assuming that anyone you don't know should agree with you is so wrong. Well, yeah, for sure. Assuming anyone should agree with you is wrong, right? Like, if I tell you I have to go right now because I'm tired, but I really want to look at porn, probably okay. But if I tell you I gotta go because I have cancer, probably not. I'm gonna go because okay, right. Wait, lying, yeah. Right, but that's like more like an omission. So what you're saying, when you're saying that you lie about having cancer, that's an act of commission, right? That's actually lying. If you say, oh, you're saying because I'm tired, but you're not actually tired, you just want to look at porn. Okay, yeah, I guess it's the same thing. But there are different levels of it, right? Lying is sometimes important. Okay, well put, personal benefit versus mutual benefit. What if someone asks you your debit PIN code? Lies can be okay, this just progresses. Interesting. So if someone has a gun to your head and says, you know, where's your money? Where's all your money? Where's the safe? If you lie in that type of a situation, isn't it different than if you're lying and there's no like direct threat to your life? He wanted the win in his heart. When real young, can't comprehend someone else's point of view. Yeah, actually, so about, I think, 5 and 6 is when they start to establish a moral code, and they're, like, getting closer to 7, so. But one of them just has that so much more, like, intuitively. Like, he's just much more moral. He cares a lot more about rules and boundaries and being good than the other one does, so it's, like, such a stark contrast, and because they're twins, like, it's hard to understand the differences in development, but they're fraternal twins, so. We're a product of evolution, okay? Hypothetical. If I'm being robbed, I won't point out that I have a gun hidden in the house. Yes, of course. People gravitate towards socially... But this is... What do they call that? Not the straw man. Slippery slope. What is the debate tactic? When you use an extreme example. That's why I'm trying to use an example of, like, an unflattering outfit. Or something like, you know, something that's, like what Todd said, is kind of negligible. If we're talking about someone's about to kill me... You know what I mean? Like, okay, we're kind of using these extremely unlikely examples. Someone's going to come hold the gun up to my head and ask me my debit card number. Like, it just seems unlikely. It's pretty rare that that's going to happen. Much more likely, I'm going to have somebody offend me, but I think that they can benefit me in some way. Maybe a customer, right? Customer service. My customer's being really annoying and really rude. Should I just tell them that? Right? Should I just be honest with them? Or should I just take it because I might stand something to gain by keeping them happy? You know, it's like because you're not lying, right? I think we can all agree that lying is worse than not telling the whole truth or not telling the truth, you know? For example, I never lied about my affair, actually. So my ex never asked me if I was having an affair, if I was cheating, if I, you know, was like doing anything with Ed. And that, for me, I thought that meant that he knew and he didn't want to know, right? That he knew what was going on and he didn't want to ask because he didn't want to actually hear me say it. Maybe I fabricated that in my mind. But he was definitely concerned about the nature of our relationship up until a certain point, and then he no longer asked. Is that because he had decided that he could trust me and just was going to accept it and not push it anymore? You know, he never asked me to stop that relationship or anything. Like, it's just, there's so many facets to all these things. People gravitate towards socially and emotionally intelligent people. Yes, which benefits that person. So, of course, there are incentives to us to be likable and not always telling the whole truth or behaving. So even outside of telling the truth or lying is behavior. So for me, like, I will smile a lot because I know it looks good and it's good for my job as a live streamer, but I don't necessarily want to smile the whole time. Like, if you just hang out, like this broadcast, I'm being much less smiley. Partially because of the content, but also partially because I'm thinking about this right now and I'm trying to examine all my motives for why I do things, you know? Sometimes, like, as soon as I end my broadcast, my face will drop. Like, to what it's like now. My face is pretty relaxed right now. But a lot of times I'm like this throughout my whole broadcast. I'm, like, forcing this smile because I know it looks better. My face looks better when I'm smiling. I have a pretty good smile. People like smiles more. They're more attracted to it. They're more likely to come in. They're more likely to engage. They're more likely to feel positive because of it. But I don't do, like, if me and you were just hanging out at my house talking about stuff, I would just have a normal face like this. My face would be resting. And when I'm like this and I'm like, okay, you know, oh, see you on the next juice, and then I end my broadcast, that's my face right after. I'm not pissed off. That's just my normal face, right? That's just a relaxed face. So little things like that, like the things that we do and say because of how it may benefit us, as opposed to it being the thing that we really want to do or our natural way of being. People say to me, oh, you're so real, you're so authentic, but not everything I do is complete. Not every time I'm smiling am I feeling very happy, it's more like part of my job. I'm on, like as a live streamer, as a social media influencer, we are on. When we're on stage, when we're on camera, when we're live, we're expected, and we have our own like expectation of ourselves to be on and to have good energy and to be upbeat and to be interesting and engaging, so that we can get what we want out of it, which is views, follows, super hearts, sponsorships, to be successful. So that's a big thing. A lot of what we're attached to idea-wise is success. We want to prove to ourselves and to others that we can be successful, that our idea is a good one, and what we want to do is good, and we will fight so tooth and nail. I saw a broadcast the other day. My friend was doing this broadcast, and she had call-ins on, and this guy had called in, and people were like ripping him up. All the women were like attacking this guy, and he had basically said that it's easier for women on Periscope to be successful than it is for men. Wake up, ladies. That's 100% true. 150% true for many reasons. And I can get into that if you guys want to discuss it. But to me, it was just so crazy that women were like so defensive about this, because they wanted validation. They wanted proof that it wasn't just because they were women that they were successful, which wasn't his argument. It wasn't just because you're a woman you're successful, but a woman, especially a reasonably attractive woman, is going to be more successful. It's a video streaming app. People want to look at attractive people, women more so than men, right? Because women are attracted maybe to different things than men outside of just physical appearance, more so than men, who are more visual and seem to be more worried about physical appearance. This is just the way it is, right? We don't have to fight about it. We don't have to say, oh, poor me, I'm so pretty, I can't prove that I have value outside of that. It's like, sure you can. There's plenty of talented, beautiful women on Periscope, and there's plenty of women that are beautiful that don't really necessarily do a whole lot that demonstrates talent. And you'll find that usually the people who are creating more value above and beyond being a pretty face tend to be more successful. And that's fine, that's good. But at the same time, you still get more views, you still get more follows, you still get more attention because you're an attractive female. Sorry. And now I was almost caught up on comments, and then I went on a rant. So we're attached to our own ideas, right? We want to prove something. We want to prove that we are valuable more than just beautiful. People come in because they want to hear what I'm saying. Well, some of the people come in because they're hoping that there's going to be a nip slip. That's the reality. We can't be in denial about the reality of the situation. If my legs are showing, I would probably have twice as many people on this broadcast right now. People want to see my legs, some of them. Not everybody is in here because they want to see my legs. There's definitely trolls that say, the only reason, and that's wrong. But it does give me an advantage over a man, especially a man who's maybe not very attractive, and especially one who doesn't have good verbal skills. If you're not very good at talking, you're probably not going to be a great you're not going to be a great talk show host, whatever it is. If you're not great at talking isn't really going to get you a whole lot of success. Okay, let's move forward. Truth can be very objective. Truth can be subjective too, for sure. Y'all didn't find that out about each other before marriage? No, we did, but see, I wasn't actually capable of traveling so much at the time, and all I cared about when we were together for 7 years. So in the beginning, all I cared about was fidelity. I just wanted a guy who was going to be faithful to me, because the last several guys I had dated weren't, and that was hard. It hurt me, right? And you'd think, oh, then therefore I wouldn't do it to him. I didn't think I would, although those situations were different as well. I was not with them for as long, and the people they were with weren't people that they wanted to be with instead of me. They were people that they just wanted to sleep with, which is probably the more conventional, preconceived notion that people have about cheating. And when I found a guy who was going to be faithful to me, that was so important. We also had a lot of intellectual things in common, so we could talk for hours, and I don't find that very often. I don't find a whole lot of people that really impress me intellectually. So I was very attracted to him, and I think he's physically attractive as well. So there was a lot of things that were good. As my life progressed and evolved, I realized he was very, very unsocial. I like to be social. I like to talk. I like to go out and do things. He didn't like that. He became progressively less interested in leaving the house too. After we got married, we went an hour from our house. We went on this great little mini honeymoon. It was beautiful. It was great. that was the only time we ever did anything like that. We never again went an hour from our house ever again the rest of the 7 years. I did. I went to Egypt. I went to Hawaii. I went to Florida many times. I went to California many times. I went to Canada a few times. I did all of these things alone, and that starts to wear on you. Before you experience it, you can't sit there and say it's going to be fine. I thought it was. Well, as long as he doesn't care that I'm traveling, then it'll be fine. If he doesn't need to come and he's okay with me going, then that's great. I have freedom. That's all I need. And then I was on the beach, and I was just sitting there with a friend of mine, and I just thought, I'm never going to do anything romantic on a beach. I'm never going to hold hands and watch the sunset. I'm never going to walk around on the beach, arm in arm with my man or kiss on the beach. And I love the beach. It's like this place that makes me so happy. And he wasn't into that. He wasn't interested in that. And I didn't realize how much I wanted that until it was something I could never have the rest of my life. And I realized, okay, that made me want it a lot more, When you feel like you want something and then you just realize you can never have it ever, you're like, okay, well, is there any way that I can have this thing that I want? And it turned out that, yeah, by ending that relationship. Where's the guy you cheated on him with today? He's the guy that I live with, Ed. He's my #1 super fan on Periscope. He's asleep upstairs with the kids. I liked your ex, or at least what I knew of him. Yeah, me too. I hope he's doing good, Taylor. You are an empath. You care a lot, and that's a good thing. I appreciate that. But I also cared about myself more than him in that instance, where I wanted Ed, right? That was more important to me than how that might affect my ex, which I think is certainly not something that I'm proud of and wish that I had done differently. Especially when I looked back and realized that it was only like 1 month before I left him. Could I really not have waited 1 month to be done with him, to have left him, and then to be with Ed, so that I wasn't hurting someone who was very important to me, and definitely a lot of what he did and provided to me is part of the reason that I was able to get to where I was today. He didn't support me financially, but I lived in his home and didn't pay rent. So in a way, that is a partial support financially. I didn't have to pay rent for 7 years. That helped me to clear up my financial situation a lot and to get ahead financially. I appreciate that, Joel. Yeah. It's hard, but it's hard even when I say things like this that I'm not proud of. It's like my instinct is to justify it and to say, like, it was so easy for me to say, yeah, well, I'm with the guy that I cheated on him with, so it was worth it. Me and Ed talk about this a lot. We talked about it for almost 3 hours the other night about how, like, we had to go through all this and all these things that we did and all that really dark in-between time when we were both married, and then I wasn't married and he was still married and I was in Florida, and, like, there's a lot that happened. But it's so easy to say, but it was worth it because we're together now. We're very happy, and, like, we feel like it's good for the kids and it's good for his ex, and, because she gets time to herself away from the kids so she can do her own thing and have her own life and, take a little bit of that burden off of being a full-time parent. And at the same time, that doesn't mean what we did was okay or good or that we wish that we had did it that way. Of course we wish that it had happened a different way. It's also hard to know if this could have happened without that happening. Would we have had the courage to leave the person that we were so comfortable with if not for knowing how compatible we were with somebody else through experience? That's really hard to say. It's so easy to say, well, it doesn't matter. You just leave. If you're not happy in the relationship, you just leave it. Well, especially for him, he had kids with this person. Like, it's hard to leave in certain situations, for sure. And I'm sure a lot of people in here can identify with that. And also, hi, Derek. Hi, Sugar Sugar. Hey, Linda. I'm really far behind on comments. I'm going to try to scroll through faster. But so people are so willing to say, I've been cheated on. Somebody burned me. Someone cheated on me. They're such a terrible person. They hurt me. But people are so much less willing to say, I cheated. And I want that to change, right? I think that, just as many people have been cheated on, there are those many people that have cheated. And it's like in the shadows. People are because we're ashamed of it, right? We feel guilty, so we don't want to put it out there in the open and say, here is my flaw, please analyze it, especially in a platform like this. But even, like anytime that I've dated anyone, I've never really heard them say, like, oh, I've cheated before. But they're happy to tell me if they've been cheated on. So it's like, well, that means that somebody cheated. Someone somewhere has cheated and isn't telling you, Never spare someone hurt if it's backed by the truth. People need to feel the pain to improve. I think so, and I definitely have a lot of respect when people tell me, not immediately. I feel defensive usually first when someone gives me some criticism, hopefully constructive criticism, but I can respect that person for being honest with me, you know? I feel bad for your ex now. Poor fella, I'm sure he's fine now, though. I hope so. Yeah, Ed's asleep right now, yeah. Hi, Belle. He won't contact you when he learned that it turned to betrayal, not just love lost. No offense. Maybe. I mean, we'll see. Do him a favor and never speak to your ex again. It's emasculating to remain friends. It's up to him. If he wants to be friends, I'm happy for it. I believe transparency helps people. Well, I appreciate that, Miles. I'm really grateful that you say that. Exes should stay exes in all regards. In the long run, it's just healthier. I'm not friends with any of my exes, so he's the only one that I would even consider that type of relationship with. If, you know, when you become an adult, the reality is, like, you know, if he finds someone he's really happy with and he's very happy in that relationship, like, I can't really see why we wouldn't be able to still be in contact. We don't live anywhere near each other, right? We're not going to see each other, and we're not going to be in routine contact. We're not going to be talking to each other on the phone for hours, anything like that, you know? But to, like, an occasional text or something, like, to ask what, like, there's been plenty of times where I wanted to, like, ask him his thoughts on something because of the way that he thinks, not because of, like, romantic relationship rekindling, right? We had a very intellectual relationship, our entire relationship. So when you have a lot of really deep intellectual conversations with people, it's hard to lose that because it's very fun for me to have conversations like that. And I don't know a lot of people that want to have conversations like that, you know? So I definitely miss that. But if it's going to hurt him to do that, I don't want to hurt him, right? So it's up to him. If he wants to talk, I feel no pain in being a friend of him. But if he feels pain, then we shouldn't do it. Absolutely. We live in a culture where everyone's using social media to do image management. So much respect for being real. Yeah, there's definitely becoming more of a shift, like that whole VSCO girl thing where they're, like, being more chill, like less of the crazy, you know, overdone makeup and stuff. Optical illusions. I think an underrated topic is that love is confused for attraction. Okay. Hi, 3 Dot. Taco Puppy, thank you for the super hearts. No relationship can exist if there isn't attraction, but if that's all that is there, it isn't love either. I did try to, has anyone tried the relationship where you're not attracted to the person? That does not work, especially if you enjoy physical touch as one of your love languages. I really need to brush my hair. I'm going to brush my hair while I read some of these comments. And you can lie by omission. Violent. Yeah, right. Like, he never asked me, so I never told him, but I should have told him. You know, so I was lying by not telling him too. Violent versus nonviolent situations. How do you see white lies? I don't know. That's really what we're discussing right now. I guess I would need a direct example to say what I think about it. Human brain wants victory, not truth. You nailed it, Jedion. You nailed it. Hey, Dr. Umar. I struggle that when I feel deceived, I have a hard time getting over it. Well, yeah, because you lose trust, right? You thought you trusted that person, right? And that's the only reason I was able to cheat on him was because he trusted me so much that I ended up in a situation, and I trusted myself too much, and I ended up in a situation where I did cheat on him. I never thought that would happen, and neither did he, you know? And neither Ed nor I had ever cheated on anyone in our lives before, so it just wasn't even like a possibility until it was the reality. You know, it went from not a possibility to the reality in the blink of an eye. You are less smiley because I'm not trolling you. I immediately smiled when you said that, actually. You're very professional. Am I? Thanks. If you're married and cheat, that's a violation to your vows. Doesn't matter if you lied directly. I agree. I am me. Thank you. I have a boyfriend. On point, everyone needs to experience frontline customer service job they depend on for income. Everyone has a motive, right? Exactly. So examining your own motives and knowing why you're really saying and doing the things that you are. You know, in the book, he talks about an experience that he had. He had a landlord who was an alcoholic, and when his landlord was sober, he would say to him, "I'm trying to stop drinking. I'm really trying to stop drinking." And then he would go on a multi-day bender where he would literally drink like 50 beers in 2 days, like a very high tolerance threshold alcoholic. And he would come to their house, he would knock on their door at 2 o'clock in the morning, and he would have like a microwave or a blender or something to sell them. You know, hey, do you want to buy my microwave? And he wanted money because he wanted to go buy more alcohol. And he actually, the author actually bought them a few times because it was his landlord, right? So he wanted to keep the relationship good. And he was worried to say no. He didn't feel like he could say no. And his wife said to him, you know, I really like that guy, and I don't think it's right that you're giving him money, which you know he's going to go spend on alcohol. He's telling you he wants to quit. Like, you're what's the word? Enabling him. And so then next time he showed up, he said to him, man, and he said he chose his words very carefully. He tried not to be sarcastic or self-righteous or anything but just honest, and to make sure that he told him that he cared about him, right? He said, you've told me that you want to quit drinking. My wife is kind of uncomfortable when you come to the house in the middle of the night like this because we both like you and we want to see you be able to, get clean. And I just don't feel like it's right to buy this from you because I assume that's what you're going to do with the money. And he said the guy just stared at him for like 15 seconds straight. There was just no words. And they turned around and walked away. And their relationship remained very solid from that point on. And he never tried to come sell him anything in the middle of the night again. He didn't get evicted or anything. Sometimes our fear is like, what's going to happen? There are people who are sometimes be like my top contributors, whether on the website or through Super Hearts. And, they try to like control me or manipulate me or something. And I want to like, sometimes I want to say something to them, but I won't because I'm worried about biting the hand that feeds, because that's like common wisdom. You don't bite the hand that feeds. Taylor has resting smile face. Do you pretend to care? Do I pretend to care? I definitely care about a lot of things, but I probably do pretend to care about some stuff. It's hard to just say to someone, I don't care about this. Like say a call-in. You see a lot of broadcasters that go live a lot and they don't have call-ins on because a lot of it is like, I have been having them on a lot more lately, but a lot of times it's not like I don't care completely, but part of it probably is that. Like, thank you, Will, for the Super Hearts. Like, what? Like, you're gonna call in and tell me about something that I don't care about, Like, not that I don't care about you, but that maybe I don't care about what the subject is that you want to talk about. Like, half the time people are calling in, they want to just tell me I'm beautiful and ask me where I'm from and how old am I, and, it's like, I definitely don't care about that. And I really, in that case, even I don't really necessarily care about that person because, like, I don't even know that person, and their motive is pretty clear to me. But even so, like, like a friend of mine called in the other day. I won't say who it was, but some of you may have been here. I do care about this person. At the same time, like, he called in and wanted to talk about, like, this festival of something that I didn't care about. And I didn't know how to say, I didn't say this, and I'm, like, wondering in the future, should I just say that? Like, I love you and I care about you, but I don't really want to talk about that subject. I'm not really interested in that subject. I don't really want to like have you call in and talk about it. You can go live and talk about it on your channel. And I do say stuff like that to people sometimes, but it's uncomfortable, right? And you feel like you're rejecting someone, especially in a public circumstance, right? If it's private, if it's like a private direct message and someone says, hey, can we like talk about this thing? And it's so much easier and more socially acceptable to say, I'm not really interested in that. No, thank you, because you're not embarrassing them in front of a group of people. So it's really, I feel like live streaming is very challenging because of that element of like there's other people watching and you're trying to like do it in a gentle way that other people aren't going to be like, wow, that was savage, I'm used to regular expressions, not offended. I understand that for broadcasts is different, right? If you stop smiling, I'm out of here. What about people staying in character like for a movie role? Yeah, I don't have a character. That's definitely not. The thing actually I've learned about all live streamers that I've met, they're the same in person. They're like the same person. It's kind of weird, like, because you've never met them, but when you meet them, you have met them. You're like, I already know this person. And it's weird for us as live streamers to meet the audience because we have not met you at all. We haven't seen you or heard how you speak or anything, and you feel like we're best friends and you know all about us, and it's a little bit weird. Like Ed was telling me that was really weird for him when he started meeting people when we were together and started coming to Periscope meetups. Like people like know all this stuff about him and his life, and he doesn't know anything about them, and it's like a whole different social dynamic. Motive is really what we're talking about. Yeah, it is. If you have to lie to be successful to keep your job, if a woman shows something here, views boost, and because women are more attractive. I actually tend to agree with that. It's why I don't stream my face. Derek, you're talking about the halo effect. I forget what that is. What, like the perception that we're innocent? Taylor has her shit down. Thank you, Miles. Oh, you guys both said halo effect. I'm not an attractive... Oh, or is that a nip slip, though? Did I say nip slip? Legs? Ew. Hashtag nip slip. Is the halo effect... what, an attractive person? I'm not an attractive female, so I don't stream my face. But faces are much easier to relate to than like an audio-only broadcast or something. Sonam is gorgeous and got good content. Yes. Oh my god, not again. I come in hoping one day Taylor will learn to play Vanessa Carlton on the piano in the bag. Halo Effect is one of the... Oh, Miles, I wanted to know, how's your music going? Halo Effect is one of the cognitive biases. The appearance modifies our way of thinking. Right, yes. We're not always honest because it hurts other people's feelings. Yes, exactly. Yeah, we talked about that. A beautiful woman or smart man will be successful, but a smart and beautiful woman is going to win all day. I forgot y'all were married. We weren't legally married, though, right? So, I mean, I call him my husband. We did a wedding ceremony, but it was done by my yoga teacher, who is not an actual officiant, and we didn't get the government involved. You traveled with his money? No, I traveled with my money. I never, ever, ever took a single penny from him. I actually loaned him like $6,000. But he paid it all back to me when I left, so it's all good. But no, the only way he supported me financially was by not charging me rent and allowing me to live with him. But that was actually an agreement we came to because I didn't want to live there. I wanted to live in Florida, and he wanted to live in New York, so he bought a house. Like that, we did what he wanted to do, and I didn't want to do that. And we almost broke up then. And you know, me and Ed go back and forth on this a lot too. We think about all these times in our past relationships when we knew we should have ended things, you know, when we knew, like, this is not working, like, you know, like, I'm not enjoying this anymore, like, I don't want this life, and we stuck in it, you know, we continued living it, which is a bed that we made and had to lay in. I'm not going to play any music, guys. You didn't go to Bangladesh, I was waiting, no, I didn't, I'm not single now, no. I'm with that same guy, Ed. Who's bidding? How? He is number one fan and he's sleeping. He's probably playing a replay right now. Are you with Ed? Yes, I am. Juice sounds so good right now. Go have some juice. Do you have juice in your house? I remember having that talk in Cali with you about my ex at Hermosa, one of the most helpful talks. Really? Yes, that makes me so happy. Can I ask you something? No, well, you can't ask me anything. You can ask me something. No, you didn't cheat. You just kept your options open. Oh, I cheated, 100%. I'm the same way. I'm not friends with any of my other exes except one who really wanted it. Yeah. If it doesn't seem like it hurts you or that, I can't see why not. Do you like, for example, Ed's ex is the mother of his children, so we engage with her a lot. I don't know if friends is the right word for that, but, you know, it's not like I'm not worried that they're going to get back together or anything. And I don't think either of them are worried about that or wanting that either. Do I like egg? That's your question, Will? Do I like Egg McMuffins? I prefer sausage. When you have kids with someone, your lives will always be intertwined. Yeah, and that's why it's really important to be careful about who you sleep with. Different situations, animosity on one side will never work. Exactly, right. So that's why it's like, oh, thank you, Rhodey. Thank you. I was just wondering, actually. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you. That's why, that's why I'm saying it's up to him. Like, I'm not going to reach out to him and try to, like, you know, work my way back in or anything like that. Like, yeah, I want to be able to talk to him sometimes, but only if he wants that. And he knows the door is open, right? He can come talk to me if he wants. He knows I have no animosity towards him. But if he feels animosity towards me, I deserve that, and he has every right to never talk to me again. I mean, that's his call, you know? Democrat or Republican, both you and X? Neither. I guess we would be categorized as libertarians, borderline anarchists. Is ignorance bliss? I feel like no. Let the past go. If it was negative, nothing good can come of it by reliving it over and over in your head. That's so much easier said than done. It is so hard. You know, that was his first reaction, was like, every girl that he's ever been with cheated on him. Every girl. Ever. His whole life. And he's, like, 40? So that's hard, you know, because he's like, what do all those things have in common? Does that mean every girl cheats? No. I mean, I know for a fact that they don't, right? Like, you know, I have friends who haven't, and I didn't up until that point, and I really, truly, actually, I know that I wouldn't have if he had traveled with me. That's, like, the one thing. If he was with me, obviously I wouldn't be getting with Ed, right? You know what I mean? Like, my husband would be there with me. Like, I would never even have, like, I would never feel like I was, like, lacking something in my relationship. And then seeing other people having relationships that to me were like they did things together. Even my mom and her husband, you know, they do things together, they go places together. It wasn't like two people living two different lives under the same roof, which is what I had come to be experiencing, and a lot of people experience stuff like that. So I don't even know why I was saying that, so I'm just going to move forward. Oh my god, it's Super Hearts, man. I was talking about you last night. Guys, do you see that logo? I feel like it's just so... genius might be a strong word for it. I'm trying to be honest here, but I really like it. I think it's really cool. It's the Superman logo, but instead of the S, it's a heart. I want to say genius, but again, it might feel a strong word. I like it. I like it a lot. That's the truth. And I like that you're sending super hearts to Wolf Puppy and to me and whoever else you've been sending them to. It's super awesome. I'm a little bit scared because I saw you send her 100,000, and if you send me 100,000, I have to do a dare. And I already have to do a dare tomorrow, which is an ice bath. I have to take an ice bath. And if I'm being honest, since this broadcast is all about being honest, I do not want to take an ice bath. Does anyone really want to take an ice bath, though? Some people say that they like it. I think you guys are like masochists or something. Hi, Rack. I'm good. How are you? 50 beers. Not that you don't care. It's that you care about focusing on a topic you are discussing. Well, there are things that I don't care about. Like if you want to talk to me about like football, the NFL draft, like I don't care about that. It's not just like, oh, I'm talking about something else right now. Like I never care about that. Maybe I will in the future. I don't know what the future is going to hold, but I've never cared about it before, and I don't care about it right now. And no matter if you wanted to talk to me when I was totally free and had nothing to do and you were my best friend, I would never care about it. Now, if I care about you, and you really want to talk about it, I'll listen, right? I have the ability to listen to things that I'm not interested in, but it doesn't mean that I care about it. So in certain situations, like someone asked, do you pretend to care? I think I do sometimes. I think I do pretend to care sometimes, because it's like, or do I care? I care about the person being able to have somebody to talk to, but I don't, and it's going to be a lot more fun to talk to someone who cares about that topic you're talking about. Like, I'm enjoying talking about this with you guys because we're actually, like, we both, or, all 69 of us seem to care about this topic. We're interested in it. So it's a lot more fun to talk about it with you guys than someone who doesn't care about it. If someone's like, I don't care about this, I just want to talk about the NFL draft, that's not going to be very fun to talk to them about it, Thank you for all those super hearts. I really, really, really do appreciate that. We're at 30,000 super hearts. Every 25,000 super hearts I get, we can do either a cash cannon, a hula hoop, I have pop rocks, I have costumes. I've already been live for 3 hours today, though, so the costume thing, let's take costume off the table for now because I'm going to end the broadcast soon, so the costume would be very short-lived. I guess it wouldn't matter. Whatever you want, super heart man. You name it. Well, wait. Not whatever you want. Let's not get crazy. I have questions. Okay, what are your questions? You are not into futile conversation, I guess. Definitely not. Me and Ed have really, really good conversations too. Ed's an intellectual as well. It's a different type though. Like I have Ed, I have two of my very good friends, and then I would also say my ex, if I could still talk to him, who they all have different perspectives. They're all very smart. Like the people that I surround myself with most are people who are really smart and can like dive deep on certain subjects, and they all think about things differently. And I love that. I love getting all the different perspectives and opinions and being like, yeah, I never thought about it that way. Like reading the book today, I was like, yes, this book, like I didn't like the first like 200 pages of this book, but this chapter is like, yes, it's made it so worth it. Who likes Egg McMuffins? Put your hand up if you like Egg McMuffins. Okay, I'm chopped liver. You're not chopped liver, Will. I love you. He said, what's an Egg McMuffin? Oh, you just insulted Will so much, Andy. Do I see myself as a sapiosexual person? Absolutely. Absolutely. But not entirely. I still have to be physically attracted to someone. I dated a kid when I was like 15. I think I was 15. And we started having conversations online and on the phone. He was a friend of mine. He was like the neighbor of my cousin. Like people knew he wasn't like a catfish, right? But I had never seen him before. And it just started out as a friendship. Like a lot of great relationships do, right? We would talk. I would call him after school. We'd talk on the phone for like 8 hours straight. I mean, we really enjoyed each other's company. And then I met him, and I found him to be very physically unattractive. I dated him for a few months, but I couldn't do it. My mom definitely was not a great influence in this time either, but my mom would say to me, I don't know how you can do it. That kid's just so ugly. Like, Mom, don't say that. That's mean. But I at the same time, I kind of see like what she was getting at, like. But that kid, and he got married, and he has love and kids, and I'm like so happy because he's such a nice guy. But I did find that like if I'm completely physically unattracted to somebody, it is difficult to keep that relationship going for a long term, right? And it's difficult to even be physical with that person, which is really sad because there's nothing people can do about their fate. There's plenty of people who think I'm really unattractive, you know? So I'm just glad that there are people who wanted to be with him because he was a really nice guy. Salesmen often lie that fur coat makes you look slimmer. Fur coat. Are all these people donating money? These people, yeah, from the last 30 days. There's actually been 2 more contributions that just came in. Did this just buzz? Why did I feel like that buzzed? That just came in that aren't on here yet because I actually manually update this. But for the last 5 days, not a single person had contributed on the website. So that was hard. Okay, Super Hearts, man, I'm really appreciative of those Super Hearts. But if you could stop at like 99,000 so I don't have to do a dare, that'd be perfect. Is ethics different in personal life versus work or corporate life? Curious on your opinion. I think no. You know, I think ethics are ethics. And that the clients that you want are people who are honest with you and that you can be honest with. Simple as that, you know? I mean, I've never really, like, I've worked a lot of different, like, I've had different positions, customer service, even sales, and I never really felt like there was a situation in which I had to lie to somebody or I felt tempted to lie to somebody to get a sale or to benefit my business or my relationship with them. But I'm sure there's a lot of people who have, you know? All my exes live in Texas. Sounds familiar. If every girl cheated him, possibly he had too many girls. Well, so he was saying, what's the common denominator there? What's the one thing all those relationships have in common? Is him. And that broke my heart to hear him say that. But at the same time, I was thinking, like, that's very big of him to look at it that way and to say, okay, what am I doing wrong? Like, what am I not giving to these relationships that's causing this outcome to happen? Thank you so much, Super Hearts, man, for all those Super Hearts. And I know what it was for me. I don't know necessarily what it was for those other girls, but I know that if he had done a couple things differently in that relationship, I wouldn't have left him. And I wouldn't have cheated on him. I know that 100%. I wouldn't have been sitting on a beach thinking I'm never going to ever have my lover on the beach, ever. I'm always going to be traveling alone my whole life. And it's kind of scary to travel alone, you know, like going to Egypt. And I had friends with me, but still it's like, you know what I mean? There's a lot of security in like a love relationship like that, you know, like now that I travel with Ed, it is everything that I wanted and so much more. I feel so good and secure traveling with him. Like he's got my back, I've got his. We get to like snuggle up at night. I'm not just like alone in my bed looking at the pyramids feeling like this is so awesome, but it'd be nice to have like a romantic person to share this with. All right, I'm getting kind of emotional. Let's talk about something else. Hi, Tressa. Yeah, an ice bath. Yeah, ice bath tomorrow, so make sure to follow me. Did I brush my hair? Why is my hair... Okay, it's fine. Nobody cares about my hair, except me. Hi, Cher. I think you're truly the best scoper since Leslie at Go to Kitchen's just a different avenue. I love Leslie. She's awesome. I appreciate that, Chris. Okay, I get it. You get it? Hence, customer service, part pretending to care, 100% solving problems. Pretending to care. I don't know. I mean, I guess I don't know if it's male-female dynamic or just people in general, but I feel like I genuinely cared about my clients in the past. Like, you know, I worked in medical equipment, so, like, I care about what they want. You know, they might want to talk to me about stuff I don't care about, so there's probably sometimes that I don't really care what they're telling me about, but I still care about them and make sure that they're getting what they want from me, and that might be somebody to listen to them for a little while. Like, a lot of the older people, you know, they wanted to tell me about their late wife and their kids and their situation, and actually, I was interested in it, you know, so even if I... You know, like, I don't know, like, to say, like, I don't care about it, right? Like, I don't need to know those things, but it is interesting. I think talking to older people is actually very interesting. Super Hearts don't seem to be letting up. No, he gave me some space. We're 20,000 Super Hearts away from having to do a goal, so we're good. First 2 years in arranged marriage, listening to stuff you don't have interest for. Oh my God, arranged marriages. They were talking about that on Survivor last week, actually. One of the Survivor contestants is Indian, and she's in a pretty much arranged marriage. She said it's not like arranged marriage like everybody thinks, so it's not like forced. You know, it's an agreed to arranged marriage, basically. She's been married for 7 years, and she says that at this point he's basically her roommate, and they don't really have a lot of communication. Hey, Crypto Chris. Your honesty is very refreshing, Taylor. It's a very attractive quality. I appreciate that, Andy. I'm your crush. Well, thank you, I guess, but I do have a boyfriend. Thank you, Rhodey. Thank you. We can hang out. Okay, but I have a boyfriend. I'm very happy. It's not McRib. I'll say that. Oh, McRib. It's McRib season. Almost dare time, 63,000 about. No dares. Thank you, Will, for the super hearts. Don't get me to the dares, guys. You're gorgeous even when you drunk scope. I very much appreciate that, and I don't drunk scope anymore. Are you fully better yet? Am I fully better? Oh, from when I was sick last week? Yeah, I think I'm fully better. I actually did take some daytime Alka-Seltzer plus cold and flu today because I woke up kind of congested. But I felt okay. I never got like the achy flu symptoms, but the kids are, they're little carriers of diseases, so I kind of like almost prevent. Like if I wake up with a stuffy nose, I'm like, all right, I'm taking some Alka-Seltzer plus and trying not to get sick, San Diego guys have such a high expectation for attractive girls, kind of sucks. Yes, certain parts of the world, there's a lot of very beautiful women, but at the same time, like what they think is attractive, like what Sonam was saying, is very true. Not every guy likes a girl with a forehead that doesn't move and big fake lips and the fake eyelashes, and I'm not trying to insult girls that have those things, but not every guy finds that attractive. Some guys do. I don't know if it's the majority or not, but it's not like you have to look like that to attract a mate. I don't have any of those things. Look at the wrinkles. I got this going on, the little teeny little lips. This eye's smaller than this eye. I have a pretty big nose, especially from the side. It's a pretty substantial schnoz there. And I talk way too much, but I've been able to find guys. You're reading comments from yesterday. No, I'm not. Although I've never had anyone to tell me to stop sending hearts before. Obviously, I want, it's, okay, so I created this thing, Super Hearts Man. I'm not sure if you've been here before, but I have this thing. I just recently started doing dares. So every 100,000, if I get 100,000 Super Hearts in one day, I do a dare. And then if I get $100 at the website in one day, I do another dare. So I can do up to 2 dares a day. And it's it was because I wasn't getting a lot of super hearts and stuff, so I was trying to figure out a way to make it fun, do entertaining content, if you get me to this level, because if we get 100,000 super hearts a day, Periscope gives us an extra $350 for the 3 million super heart bonus. So it's we try to get 100,000 super hearts a day, but then I'm now I'm kind of ooh, I want it, but if I get it, then I have to do a dare, and the dares aren't always that bad. One time I had to eat pineapple pizza, and that was actually really easy. But another time I had to eat octopus, and another time I had to rub mayonnaise all over my face, and another time I had to drink pickle juice, and another time I had to busk, and I'm not a singer. I had to go out in public and try to get people to give me money for singing. No one gave me any money. I got some super hearts, but it was pretty embarrassing, but it was also really fun and silly. And oh, you follow Michael Joseph Murray? Yay! Last time I saw you, you were only following one person, and it was Periscope. Now you follow Mike Letica. Yeah, he's actually a monthly sponsor of this channel. Well, I don't know if you want to follow me or not, but if you do, I will try to make sure that I share a lot of really cool broadcasters. So you already follow Wolf Puppy. There's another broadcaster I think you'll really like, Top Shelf Pineapple, Steph Taylor Live. There's so many really cool. I'm Chill with Chels. Yeah, there's a lot of really cool broadcasts. So Claire Means, do you like music? There's a lot of really cool musicians on here. I don't know your name's Super Hearts Man, so I feel like you're not new to Periscope. But, so let me just shut up because you probably already know all this. Don't cry. Okay, I'm not crying. I'm not crying, you're crying. Hey, Franco, good to see you. How are you? Care about the person, but the BS business aspect sucks. Yeah. By the time you read this, I did a full day's work, ate dinner, and I'm back in bed. No, guys, I'm not that far behind. I'm only 20 messages behind. I recognize you from Wolf Puppy Scope before. You have a very unique name. I love Wolf Puppy. I've actually met Wolf Puppy in person several times, and I just totally love her. She's so fun. I've met over 100 people from the Periscope app in person, and she's one of the top most fun people out of everyone that I've met. No offense to all the other people I've met. I love you guys too, okay? But Wolf Puppy's just very fun. Accept it. This is the honesty scope. She's fun. Step your fun game up, guys. Although, I did try to get her to do a dare when you sent her 100,000 super hearts, and she said she doesn't do that. I take back what I said about her being fun. I'm just kidding. I love you, Wolf Puppy. I'm fully better from my cold myself. Good. It doesn't matter, Rhodey. If I want to go over 3 hours, I just do it. I know I'm at 3 hours, but I'm also really enjoying this conversation, so I'm just trying to like catch up on comments and then I'll end. I promise. Thank you for the logo and name compliment. Thank you for the super hearts and having a good name and logo. This is like, it's a thank you loop. I'll stop that. You do not have a forehead. I do not have a forehead. Franco, what do you mean by that? I met Franco in person. I talk a lot. What's your astrological sign? Virgo. I missed the forehead pimple. Can you grow it back? Well, I'm growing one right here. Is that good? So you're not getting Egg McMuffins. I don't have any plans to get Egg McMuffins. If you want to put that on the dare list, that'd be a pretty good dare. Because that's a very easy one. Damn, I still need to go watch that busking video. Keep forgetting. Why do I keep bringing it up? I wish I was worthy. Worthy of what? What, you want me to get you Egg McMuffins? How am I supposed to get it to you? I can't put an Egg McMuffin through this thing. Hi, Prince. Good to see you again. Well, if I hadn't stopped, you definitely would have received more, but I'll respect your decision. Well, thank you. I actually give tips to Wolf Puppy to become a big on Periscope. To become a big? She's about to do a full-on investigation. I'm good, Taylor, miss you. Would you rather have mud butt or bad breath for the first date? First date? I think mud butt. How much is 165 super hearts? 165,000? Pulling out the calculator. $108.90 for the broadcaster, if they're a super broadcaster. We are chopped liver, I told you. No, I love you. I just don't know how to transport food to you. Mom, did you meet Sadia in California? I didn't. I actually don't really know Sadia. I give tips to Wolf Puppy how become big on Periscope. What? What are you saying to me, Franco? No rush for ending. Go live as long as you want. Yeah, fellow Virgo. High five me. High five me, bro. She's 500. I'm 8 comments behind. My mom's a Virgo too, and she's always very honest. Virgos are the friends we need. I love you guys. I don't always necessarily believe in that stuff, but I'm glad that you guys like me because of it. DoorDash muffin delivery, any state. Boom. DoorDash the McDonald's. Give me your address, well, I'll DoorDash it to you. I'll DoorDash it from the generosity of Super Hearts Man, so it'll be like it came from him. Mud butt. I'm just saying mud butt, you know? 108? Yeah, $108. Yes, Sonam! Do you follow, oh my god, Tiffany? Oh my god, her name's Tiffany, right? Yeah, Tiffany Richardson on here, Sonam. She was broadcasting earlier, and she was standing in front of some white wall, some like building. She was outside, and on the wall it said 108 in the background. I was watching her replay though. Otherwise, I would have invited you in. Do I ever sleep? I do, yeah. But after this, I'm not gonna sleep. I'm gonna do schoolwork. What's mud butt? I think it means like the runs, like maybe like some like a, what do you call it when you like leave a little bit of poop in your, skid marks. You're going to meet her at a Bangladesh meetup. Yes, I will follow you along with many others that I plan to soon. I now have to go. It was great meeting you too. Thank you so much for all the super hearts, and thank you for not making me do a dare. Although if I go live before midnight again, which I probably will, people are probably going to send 20,000 supers. I'm going to have to do a dare anyway. It's okay. The dares are fun. That's how Wolf Puppy is a gold badge and super broadcaster. You're saying that you're the reason that she has a gold badge? That doesn't make any sense. I need 4 Egg McMuffins and 4 sauce. Am I being too honest right now, you guys? Good night. 4 Egg McMuffins and 4 Sausage McMuffins. Can I take one of the Sausage McMuffins? Follow us on tarot tonight. It would be huge. Okay, let's talk about etiquette, netiquette. It's not really nice to come into someone's broadcast, not engage with the topic or the broadcaster at all, and just promote your own broadcast. Okay? No more mud butt talk, please. Somebody asked what it was. I'm just saying. Okay, I got caught up on comments. I love you guys. Thank you so much for all the Thank you for all the super hearts. We are 20,000 super hearts away from having to do a dare. I'm very glad we didn't hit that. Top contributor is Super Heart Man. Thank you, Tiki, for 2,000. Will for 1,000. Thank you, Mark. Thank you, Will, Brittany, and Taco Puppy for all the super hearts, you guys. That concludes over 3 hours of content on this channel today. I go live every single day for 3 hours a day for 7 days a week with positive content to help people to reach their health, wealth, and relationship goals. Tonight we talked about honesty and motive, and we're gonna have to do this broadcast again tomorrow because there was so much more I wanted to talk about, like government, religion, capitalism, corporations, medicine, your business, when you'll be happy, so many things. Tiki, what are you doing? Tiki? No, 20,000. Scoping is my job, yes. Mud butt. Bye, everyone. Good night, I love you too, Will. Because Wolf Puppy, I was my followers on Periscope, I know her for a long time. Okay. Mud butt sometimes assimilated with swamp ass. Slight differences depend on substrate. 2019 butt stuff. Wow. Mark your calendars for ice bath tomorrow. Oh yeah, tomorrow's the ice bath. I hope you enjoyed my ASMR broadcast before this. Tiki, stop that. Tiki, what are you doing? Tiki made it so we're only 11,000 away from having to do a dare. And I really have to pee, so I can't sit here and wait for 11,000 more super hearts. So come back tomorrow, where I'll be doing an ice bath, and if you send 11,000 super hearts, I'll have to do another dare. Isn't that just lovely? Hey, Suda. Yes. We got so sidetracked, we're talking about mud butt at the end. Like that ever happens here. You think so, Rhodey? Maybe. I was thinking that at first too, but I don't know. Yeah, I saw you say that, yeah. Maybe I'll pop in here after that, or pop in there after this. Okay. Or, yes, if we get to 100, actually, oh my god. You just made such a good point. Oh my god, you just made such a good point. Someone sent me $99.81, and it was 1:46 a.m., and then right after that, David Dunn sent $10. Oh my god, I totally didn't even put that. I didn't even connect those two. Yep, that's a dare. So we already have to do another dare, but I really have to pee. So tomorrow we'll do ice bath, we'll draw the new dare, and then if we get 10,000 more super hearts, we'll have to do another dare. So this is my life now. My life is doing dares on the internet, okay? This is the thing. Good night, Kyle. Good night, everyone. Why is my hair like this? Okay. Okay, thank you, Franco, and thank you for helping us to find Wolf Puppy. I love her. I love you all. Go in your pants. No, I'm good. I'm wearing, oh no, I thought I was wearing white shorts. I'm not. Okay, I love you guys. This has been I'm not wearing pants at all. Just kidding. Oh, you can see them actually. No, you can't. I love you guys. I'm never gonna leave. This has been A Moment in Time with Taylor. I hope to see you guys on the next juice. I love you so much. Thank you for all the super hearts, and thank you for the sponsorships, you guys. We're gonna do another dare tomorrow. Stay tuned. Here's your chance to follow me if you haven't already. Get mud butt. This has been A Moment in Time with Mud Butt. Oh wait, I hit the wrong button. That's the wrong one. Wait. Okay.